right, listen up, exhausted, overcaffeinated, and emotionally drained parents of tiny tornadoes. If you are so damn tired of being on 10 all the time, if you're sick of yelling, the guilt, and the feeling that your house is one meltdown away from a full-blown apocalypse, baby, this episode is for you. And I know you're over there rolling your eyes and thinking about clicking off of the episode because the title says positive parenting, but I really need you to hear me out. I know you're thinking, great, another so-called expert telling me to just be patient and talk in a soft, loving voice while my child is attempting to scale the fridge like a deranged spider monkey. Been there. But here's the thing. I'm not here to sell you fairy dust and Pinterest-worthy parenting techniques. I am here to tell you that positive parenting is the only way to parent our children without completely losing your damn mind. So, if you want to regain your sanity, grab your favorite cup and let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone, to Chaos and Caffeine, the ADHD parenting podcast where I'm not here to give you any fluff. I'm not capable of giving you any BS. I'm really just here to help newbie ADHD parents find their footing and get their lives back on track in a way that I wish someone would have helped me many years ago. My name is Danielle Kelly, your host, your ADHD parenting bestie, here to give you all the wisdom and knowledge that I have learned over the last several years. So, why is positive parenting the only way to parent neurodivergent kiddos? I talked to a mom this week who told me her voice was literally gone from all the yelling. I mean, girl, she could not speak because she had screamed herself hoarse. And listen, I get it. I really do. I used to be her. But here's the gut punch that I wasn't ready for, and I know you're not ready for. Her kid who has ADHD and ODD is just regurgitating what's being given to him. Baby, I know that's hard to hear. It floored me many years ago. But neurodivergent kids don't just listen to what we say, they absorb who we are. If they live in chaos, they respond with chaos. If they feel threatened, they become threatening. It's biology, it's neurology, it's why yelling doesn't actually work in the long run. But don't worry, I'm not here to just point out our problems. I've got the solution. The science why positive parenting works for ADHD brains. Let's talk brain science for a second. Kids with ADHD have a dopamine deficiency. Dopamine is the brain's feel-good neurotransmitters. It helps with motivation, focus, and emotional regulation. Traditional discipline methods, like yelling or punishment, don't increase dopamine. In fact, they can make things worse by triggering stress hormones that further dysregulate an already overwhelmed brain. What does increase dopamine? You guessed it, homie, positive reinforcement. Praise, encouragement, and structured rewards help neurodivergent kiddos feel successful. And success is everything when it comes to motivation and behavior. When they feel like they're constantly failing, they'll stop trying. But when they get recognition for small wins, their brains get a much needed boost, reinforcing that positive behavior. And this isn't just fluff, it's backed by research. Studies show that kids with ADHD respond significantly better to reward-based systems than punishment-based ones. Positive reinforcement literally rewires their brain to seek out good behaviors rather than avoid bad ones. This makes me think of all the parents that come to me that have tried all threatening punishment methods and they're like, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't threaten to take away their screen time, their electronics. It doesn't help to threaten to take away sports. It doesn't help to threaten to take away friend time. It doesn't help to threaten to take away anything because that is not the way our children's brains are wired. Looking for some new toys and tools that your ADHD kiddos will love? Play Therapy Supply has you covered with a great selection of toys, games, and fidgets that can be used by ADHD children, their parents, caregivers, and professionals alike. From fidget toys that help children calm down, de-stress, and focus, to social-emotional learning resources to help kids understand their feelings and emotions, to games and activities designed to improve emotional regulation. Play Therapy Supply has it all. For thousands of items and fast and free shipping, visit playtherapysupply.com today. I want to get personal for a second and tell you my own personal story of transformation. which kind of happened in reverse. Many years ago, I was a very stressed out toddler mom. And right at the right time, my son switched daycares, and the new daycare offered a daycare-wide online positive parenting program for free to all parents. And I thought, baby, what do we have to lose here? And so I took the positive parent training, and it was so transformative for my life that I've taken that same parenting program once a year for the last 7 years. Because I always get somewhere different in my parenting game. But that first positive parent training transformed my parenting game so much so that I wasn't able to see my kids' ADHD behavior traits because we had already worked on them in reverse. So when we went to our pediatrician and was like, hey, our kid has ADHD, he's having some trouble at school, he looked at me and said, when parents come in and their children needs medication, I can usually see it written all over their parent's face. He said, you don't seem like that kind of stressed out mom. And I didn't put two and two together in that appointment that day. But what had happened was I had did the positive parent work to where I wasn't the stressed out triggered parent that he was talking about. Now, there's a whole nother story in there about how that's not the way to diagnose ADHD, but that should be eye-opening for anyone out there who's stressed out and at their end, because this will literally transform your life. So, how to actually implement positive parenting without losing your mind. Let me be very clear. Positive parenting does not mean we're handing the reins over to a tiny dictator who still thinks pants are optional. It does not mean you let them run wild while you whisper affirmations through clenched teeth. What it does mean is this. We're going to regulate ourselves first. If we're dysregulated, we cannot regulate our child. That's just science. We're going to implement deep breathing techniques, take breaks when needed, and find a quick grounding tool that works for you, like holding a cold drink or pressing your feet into the floor. Your calm will set the tone for theirs. There's also another technique that I want to add here called havening, where you rub your hands together to signal to your body that we are not in a fight or flight situation. But that's also a grounding technique that will calm your nervous system at the same time. And baby, that's a win-win. Teach, don't punish. Our kids don't learn from shame or fear. They learn through connection and guidance. Instead of saying, why do you always do this? Try, I see you're struggling. Let's figure this out together. A few weeks back on the podcast, I had Dr. Narissa Bauer, and she teaches connection over correction, which basically says that before we go in for correction, we want to make that connection with our kids. We're going to touch their arm or their back or their shoulder to let them know we're not irate, we're not mad, we still love you no matter what. Let's figure this out together. Model problem solving and self-regulation so that they can learn by example. We're going to set firm but loving boundaries. Boundaries don't have to be harsh to be effective. They just need to be consistent. In that same consultation call with a stressed out mom who had lost her voice, she said something that I will never forget. She said that her kid screams until they get what they want. They misbehave until they get what they want, or they act out until they get what they want. And I was like, I hope you heard that when you said it out loud to me. They misbehave until they get what they want, because it works. They eventually get what they want. That is not what positive parenting is. Many years ago, on my first coaching consultation call, I had a parent tell me that her daughter knew that at 8 p.m. she could get whatever she wanted. At 8 p.m., the daughter knew that the mom was burnt out, tired, done with the day. So anything she had asked for leading up to this time that day, she could get when mom got tired at 8 p.m. I cannot stress to you enough, that is not what we are doing here. Firm, consistent boundaries. They need to know that their misbehavior won't work. They need to know that their sneaky techniques won't work. My kid can talk Eskimos into buying ice cubes. He's that good. He's great with debating. He's great with advocating for himself and pleading his case. I have to find people in his life who will not fall for that crap. Next up, we're going to use clear and simple language. I won't let you hit me. If you're feeling angry, you can stomp your feet or squeeze a pillow or go outside and scream. Follow through calmly but firmly. Predictability makes kids feel safe. There is a lady on YouTube that has many resources. Her name is Nicolene Peck. She teaches self-government. And while I don't agree with every parenting technique that she puts out there, that one is huge because the predictability of her parenting style makes children know what's coming next and makes them feel safe. So if you want to check her videos out, I can link them in the description. Understand the why behind your kid's behavior. If a child with ADHD is melting down, it's usually because they can't cope, not because they won't. Way back in the day, my parenting coach told me that children are usually one of three things: tired, hungry, or sick. And honestly, that transformed my toddler mom days because every time my child was overstimulated or frustrated, I just had to ask one of those three questions. Is he tired? Is it close to nap time? Is it close to bedtime? Is he hungry? Is it approaching snack time, meal time? Or is he sick? And we all know that toddlers are snotty like 95% of their year. So check out for one of those things and see if your day gets easier. Instead of reacting to the behavior, address the root cause. Like I said, sometimes a snack, a break, or a bit of movement is all they need. Me and my child have both seen in the last 2 years, when we are both grumpy with each other, generally some outside time or park time will change both of our moods. And now it's time for everybody's favorite, our products of the week. This week, I really wanted to dig deep and try to remember what really helped me in those early positive parenting days. So I've chosen 2 Sanity saving MVPs, a responsibility chart. This is a game changer for helping ADHD kids build independence, confidence, and accountability without feeling overwhelmed. Kids with ADHD thrive on structure, but they need visual reminders to stay on track. A responsibility chart gives them a clear, positive way to track their progress and feel accomplished. Bonus, for you get the chores done and no nagging. Next up is a book recommendation. While you're diving deeper into positive parenting, I highly recommend The Whole Brain Child by Daniel Siegel. This book breaks down how a child's brain develops and why traditional discipline can actually backfire, especially for our kids. It's a must-read for any parent looking to rewire their approach. Now, as I said, I want to help newbie ADHD parents find their footing. So if you're feeling overwhelmed after the diagnosis, or my friend, you have been winging it for a while and that is also not working, I invite you to join my First Steps After Diagnosis workshop, where we will cover exactly what you need to do in the first 6 months to regain control of your life without losing your damn mind. Links, of course, will be in the show notes. Because we all need a little mantra to whisper when we're on the verge of snapping, I want to leave you with the affirmation of the week. I am learning, my child is learning, and we are both doing the best we can. Ooh, girl, one more time. I am learning, my child is learning, and we are both doing the best we can. Even when the best we can do looks like eating goldfish crackers off of the floor. All right, my loves, that's it for today's dose of chaos and caffeine. If this episode spoke to your soul, do all the things, subscribe, leave us a review, but more importantly, share it with another exhausted ADHD parent who needs to hear it. Until next time, deep breaths, lots and lots of coffee for me, and just remember, you're breaking cycles, even on the days when you feel like you're barely surviving. I'll see you guys next week.